I'd kind of promised myself I wasn't going to say anything more about this. I wrote a few lines in the last newsletter thing that I sent out. But after the events at the football match this week between Burnley and Man City, I felt that I had to just say a few words, get my two penneth in. For those of you who don't know what happened during the game, somebody or some people paid for a plane to fly over the stadium, trailing behind it a banner saying "White Lives Matter." There may be some people who genuinely don't understand why that might be a problem, who kind of think that why can't you talk about white people in the same way that you talk about black people? And for those people who genuinely don't understand why, I thought I would say these things and put it in context for you, particularly when I've been looking at Facebook for my sins. When there's so many messages going around, tweeting and retweeting things about White Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. And the reason there's a problem with it, very simply, is because nobody in their right mind is suggesting they don't. Nobody in their right mind is going around saying that white lives don't matter or all lives don't matter. There's almost kind of football mentality about this, to say that because you're supporting one thing, then everything else has to be wrong and has to be bad. I support United, therefore City are rubbish, or vice versa. The real world doesn't work like that. If you look at television, you'll see that there's adverts on there at the moment for saving the snow leopard, for example. Now, because you want to save the snow leopard doesn't mean that the fate of pandas doesn't matter, or the fate of elephants don't matter. To support one thing doesn't mean to denigrate another. It's about raising things up, not bringing other things down. And part of the problem with the Black Lives Matter is, first of all, it's American, and we're always slightly mistrustful of things that we import from America. The other problem is, of course, that the phrase has been hijacked by a greater kind of political left-wing agenda that many, if not most people, either don't agree with or actually find abhorrent. But that's not what people are commenting on when they put all lives matter and white lives matter on Facebook. It's a failure to grasp the concept. And let me explain the concept to you for the UK. Okay? On things that really affect people's lives. Black women in this country are 5 times more likely to die in pregnancy than white women. Black people are 3 times more likely to be detained under the Mental Health Act. Black people face double the unemployment rate of white people. Even those in work, on average, earn around 21% less than white people. Now, the crux of the matter, I suppose, for young black people is that they're 10 times more likely to be stopped and searched by the police. They're over 3 times more likely to be arrested. And these are UK figures. Most of them are the government's own figures. And these things aren't about subjective opinions. It's not about political correctness. It's not about a sense of entitlement. These are genuine inequalities that need to be looked at and need to be addressed. And the truth is that white people in this country have no concept of what it's like to be black. They have no concept of the drip, corrosive effects of everyday racism. I get fed up in conversation or again on social media when people begin a sentence by saying, "I'm not racist, but." If you feel you have to preface a sentence with, "I'm not racist, but," then I can pretty much guarantee that what you're going to say is probably going to be offensive. It's probably going to be racist. God isn't interested in the colour of a person's skin. As we read in 1 Samuel chapter 16, "For the Lord does not see as mortals see. They look on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." And for all that white people say things are a lot better, and in some ways they may well be, for all that white people say, well, I'm not racist, but then things will never change. And it raises the question, how stands your heart in the face of such blatant inequality and injustice? Are we happy to live in a society where these things continue, where black people face day-to-day inequalities that no white person has to face or is even aware of? That's why Black Lives Matter. Not because we want to drag everybody down, but because we want to raise black lives up to the same levels of opportunities that white people have in this country. Amen.